welcome back to Little Minds Big Talks. I'm Aiden.
And I'm Avery.
And I'm Christopher. And this season we are exploring what makes people truly happy.
Last episode we interviewed Shantae, a local yoga instructor in our very own community. The episode was very calm.
I agree. If you haven't listened to it yet, you should definitely check it out.
I liked how she sounded with her voice.
Yes, she was very knowledgeable about mindfulness and really taught us a lot.
Yes, I liked how she was very vulnerable, telling us about her own life and before finding kindness.
Remember that scientists tell us that mindfulness can help us feel calmer, less stressed, and even happier. It can be simple things like taking deep breaths, focusing on where our feet are, or thinking of our happy place.
To help us learn even more about mindfulness, we have a very special guest today. Tyler Jacobson, an award-winning illustrator of fantasy and science fiction. We're so excited to talk with him. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you for having me. That was a really great introduction.
Thank you so much for being here today. Let's dive into some questions.
Can you tell us what an illustrator does and what kind of art you create?
Yeah, so an illustrator is essentially like a visual storyteller. Most of the time we work with people who are making games or they're making books. And our job is to take their ideas, their written ideas, and translate them into images that people can see. So the best example of this is I do a lot of work for Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. And those games need art on the cards and in the books in order to depict the stories that are being told in these books and cards. I usually have to work with an art director, and an art director is someone for the company that's in charge of getting artists to make art for them. So what they do is they email me or call me, and they have like a little paragraph that describes what they want to see on the art, and then it's my job to create that for them.
What was your favorite card that you drew?
Well, that's a good question. I've got a lot of them, but I think my favorite one it's one called Exalted Angel. It's sort of an angel with two glowing swords, and she's got this veil over her face, and she's kind of backlit by the moon. That's one of my favorite ones.
Same.
What made you want to become an illustrator?
Oh man, that's a good question. I went to a college called Gonzaga, and I was studying science, but science is difficult, right? So I was having a hard time with it. The one thing I really liked to do more than that was illustration. It was not illustration, but just generally drawing and painting. Decided I wanted to kind of like focus in and become an illustrator. The reason I went for that is I didn't want to just paint, and I wanted to tell stories. So being an illustrator is where I got the opportunity to tell stories.
When you're drawing or painting, do you feel like you're in a calm or focused state?
Yeah, it's naturally I can go into that when I'm really in the right mindset, right? I need to have what I call it is I want to have the conditions for success, and for me that's like a particular kind of music, particular kind of lighting in my studio to create that mood. You know, like when people are meditating, they want to have like low light and like music that's kind of doesn't have a lot of lyrics in it. Like those are kind of things I like to have, and that gets me into that sort of focused, mindful setting. Kind of takes over, and I'm really in the zone, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Do you get that way, like when you're drawing or doing something you really like, that you're just kind of time disappears?
Yeah, I draw too. I really like it. I have two cats at home. I like it when they're on my lap and I'm in the sunshine and I'm just like drawing like a beach house or something. It's pretty relaxing.
Yeah. I will lose lots of time, especially when I was your age. I would lose lots of time just drawing.
When you're stressed, how does art make you like not be stressed?
I think it comes back to that same sort of getting lost in it. Maybe I'm stressed about a project that I have to do because it's my job, right? So I'm stressed about a painting that I need to finish. I try and take it in little chunks, and I say like, I'm just going to work on the character right now, and that's what I'm going to work on. And I'm in that zone, and I'm not thinking about all the things that are stressing me out. I'm just thinking about what's right there in front of me.
Do you think of your art as like a drawing or something fun to do? I mean, a job.
I have to remember to I call it just finding the fun. I have to remember to find the fun. So I kind of, when something is getting difficult, I kind of step back or pause for a minute and think about, or try to reconfigure the situation to remind me of like when I was a kid and used to have fun drawing in my notebooks or in my, like the margins of my books, I would draw little pictures. So I try and go back to that and think about like, oh, when was this fun? Because sometimes it becomes not fun when you're doing it as a job. So I really try to reframe it and like say, hey, I'm going to have fun with this area today, or I'm going to have fun with the paint instead of the drawing, or I'm going to have fun with the drawing instead of the paint.
No, don't feel pressured about this question because you don't have to answer it. I know it's a lot to remember, but when was the first time you started drawing?
Oh, wow. I think my earliest memory is when I was a kid. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. We would always go to this one particular restaurant. I think it was like a chain. It was like a spaghetti type restaurant. Maybe it was the old Spaghetti Factory. I'm not sure. But they had these little placemats that you could flip over, and they were made out of paper, and they would put crayons on the table. I would flip the placemat over, and I would always draw like big scenes, like of dragons or things on that. And I think I was maybe 4, and so I always wanted to go to that restaurant because I could draw on the placemats. I didn't really care about the food, apparently. I really cared about drawing on the placemat.
What makes you happiest about being an artist, and how does it connect to living a mindful, creative life?
That's a good one. I just love telling stories, and the mindfulness aspect of that is when you're telling a story, you're in the moment.
How do you handle mistakes in your artwork, and what can that teach us about being patient with ourselves?
Well, that's good. You have to embrace the mistakes when you're drawing. You have to let them happen. There's a painter that used to do painting on television. His name was Bob Ross, but he always talked about happy mistakes, and that's the way you got to work. Any little changes, you don't beat yourself up over it. You just kind of go with it and make it into something cool. So if you're doing a drawing and the line isn't just right, that's okay. You just let that energy flow through the drawing, make something of it instead of worrying about erasing it or fixing it.
Yeah, my dad says, because I get like really angry when like it's raining and I accidentally leave the door open, and I've been working on a drawing for like 2 days, and it's wet, and a cat stepped on it and it ripped, and then I came home and I'm so surprised to see my picture just ruined. So, and then I start telling my dad like, hey, this happened. Did you know about this? And then I start feeling really bad, and he says, it's fine, you can always work on it another one. And he starts these dad stories and stuff.
You can always make another one. That's the beauty of being an artist and creating things. You can always make a new one.
Okay, again, 26 minutes in, let's start to wrap up now. Any more questions before we do?
I actually have one more. So I've been dying to ask you this question. What is your favorite artist?
My favorite artist is an artist named Drew Struzan. He's an artist who did all of the movie posters from the 80s and 90s. He did all, basically. Anyone you've seen, he did them. So that's my favorite artist.
Okay, unfortunately we have to go. We've had a great
No worries.
time with you guys.
One more question.
Yeah.
Do you have any, things that you would like to say for younger people who would also want to become an artist?
Oh, yeah. The most important thing is to draw every day. It's important to just keep making art. Like when you practice for sports or you practice for learning a musical instrument, you need to do it every single day in order to get better. That's the same with art. You got to do it every day. You got to draw every day or paint every day. And that means that you're just doing it more and more and more. And the more you do it, the better you get at it.
Yeah, I'm learning Italian. It used to be really hard, but now I'm okay.
Warming up.
Okay, I get
Oh,
it.
that's really hard. Wow, fantastic. Good job.
What an awesome episode. We learned that mindfulness can come from things that we love, like art.
Yes, and even if we aren't into it, we can find our own hobby that allows us to practice mindfulness.
That's going to wrap up our conversation about mindfulness and how it can help make us happier humans.
Next month, we are talking about a whole new topic, gratitude. So we hope you tune in and learn how being grateful can help increase our happiness.
Thanks for listening, and remember, little hearts can make a big difference. So spread kindness, stay curious, and strive to make the world a better place, one conversation at a time.
Bye.